I move through grief. I recently lost a relative that was very close to me, and it was very sudden, and of course took a few days off to process and go through that, but it's so in our nature as artists to keep going. My piece will definitely be tapping into the process of recovering through grief, through loss, and also accepting that person is still with me and just in a different way.
After nearly 7 years clean. I don't know how I did it. Loved you all those years in the quiet landscape of a burning vineyard, of a toppling mountain, of a drowned seascape, and had stayed attentive, at ease, hands behind my back, waiting for the soft hook following go, and the on and on insanity of day after day, of the hand reaching for the other hand, shaking it for its own pleasure, checking for the rhythmic music of my own pulse. And I don't know how I lived for myself, all those years lying on the cold surface of a man's bed, claiming Messiah, flesh of my flesh, and the steam of golden light escaping from him. I can't resist you. That velvet head lying on my chest, soft breath, and the unprotected extension of my hand to your bulging hand, non-sated, hungry and never really safe. I sit and think of you, our joist, our spar to spar, our never-ending, and our last hour where you couldn't comfort me.
I usually make works that try to facilitate welcoming and create images of freedom. Recovery to me means that I get to take time to assess where my body is. The one thing that I'm really excited about with recovery and my journey in recovery is vacation. I think that I didn't realize that getting time and space away, even though I could recover at home and with family and loved ones, there's still a process of getting away that has really restored me through my process as a dancer.
When it smells like rain, I know that you are coming. Can feel your proximity and your intentions. My world is colored by the threat and your impulses. And so I brace myself. I want to crawl back into my warm bed and remember yesterday and there in the before when I was able and steady on my feet, ready to run. And now I'm not so sure. Perhaps there should be another word for depression. We've become too accustomed to the sound, the pressing together of its consonants and vowels against our tongue and teeth. There should be something more formidable in its place, for a thing that makes you forget yourself, dirties each stream you drink from, blows away the footprints of every road you have ever walked down until you become terrified that you'll never find the way back. There is no God here, or Black Jesus, and the light is hard to come by. So you walk forward, stumbling in the dark, feeling at walls that are no longer there. Because someone once told you you had to, have to, every time. Retrace your footsteps and then find the way back home.
recovery is important because there needs to be time and space to heal and transparency. And for me to have that honesty and vulnerability and availability to have that space and consciously check in with myself of what I emotionally need, physically need, and the support I can get around me to sustain my body and my mind and my spirit.
The playground has been locked for months. A swing coughs dryly in the shade. Each night ambulances pulse through our sleep. Long white corridors crowd our dreams. Remember the scent of new grass in the park, of earth clotting in the rain? Remember the picnickers laughing beside the magnolia's soft pink lungs? Now we distrust even the breeze, and only the birds will congregate. The smallest gesture has grown grand, and from afar we've learned to love our neighbor's song. Our voices kiss the walls. Because we cannot, the tulip breathes.
Recovery means rebirth and a constant regeneration. It's the up, and then it's the down, and then the getting back up. It's the rise and the fall. Those challenges are all blessings and lessons, and so the pain and the hurt is only an opportunity for us to come back stronger. And so I really appreciate recovery. I appreciate how people show up through the act of recovery. It's an opportunity to accept the newness of every moment.
From water. Since the fall, summer's shade bristles on the canyon floor, and I must press my lips to the fault line, that fissure where each drink weeps slowly out the back of my skull. I'd like to lie, to play Moses and strike a miracle out of stone, but most days, all I can do is wander through smog and dust, trying to remember a wave's direction. I follow you now. 3 years in, and you've learned how to be in this state of lateness, this post-concussion syndrome. Like a ghost, you say. Like the soul, it never quite shows up on an MRI. But here we are, just out of focus and keeping faith. You take my arm and remind me which way to walk the fire road home. How strange to be this soft, to look down an ammonite circling into concrete and return to this question of one's final shape. The final shape will be shale, a metacarpal or two, to point the way to fossil reefs, the mollusks I imagine as ossicles listening in the rock for some hand to bridge the shores on our canyon wall. But you were never the type to walk among these alders, their coral of split gills, and find yourself in just the shallow end of eternity. Never that romantic. You know drowning is as much a predicament of time as water. Soon winter will lift the fall to its surface like a leaf on a stream, and there'll be months to stay in and write a single poem. Soon the muscle will work toward something dry and hard enough to keep. To worry the blade of a seismograph as these songs of whales held in our mountains like a breath.